Halo.
Assalamualaikum.
Hai guys, assalamualaikum.
We are adventure of Abba again. We going to where? Kemana kita nih?
Cape Schanck.
Schanck.
Cape Schanck.
Lighthouse.
Belum bisa ke Cape Town, kita ke Cape Schanck dulu aja.
Cape Town. Apa yang di Cape Town coba? Sini aja Cape Schanck dulu. Oke.
Oke, bye.
1,5 jam lagi. Cape Schanck Lighthouse.
Where's the lighthouse?
See the red on the top? Oh, dulu apa? Gendong ini begitu tuh yang di hitam. Walking track, beach. Cape Schanck. Abang nggak bawa. Ini aja. Ready to go. Kapaknya penuh, terpaksa kita. Hai? No,
It looks the same.
this is very rare. Kain deh.
Mommy, can you tie my hair up, please?
Non, kita ke sana, yang jauh. Kita ke Pebble Beach one way itu, 750 meters. Oh itu gitu, lighthouse ya. Kita pulangnya aja ke situ ya. The hidden beach. Ya Inggris aja itu. Kan kita on the street aja. Bush Ranger. Bay Lookout. Oke sama Abah, you bisa. Are you holding my hand? Are we getting married? Are we getting married? Are you holding my hand? Aduh, cubit dong, pengen cubit dong. Oh, nice. Tahu Bush Ranger, Bay Lookout. Increase of snack activity. Oh my God, sakit cubit. Banyak fly. Aduh, nah, annoying.
Stop.
Di sini.
What?
Sabar.
It's the higher rock.
Adventure. Kita lihat lookoutnya. This is Bush Ranger. Lookout. Sih enak sih, sepi, nggak ada orang. Nice. Lulu. Rock. Dari sini mami bagus ya. Nice. Masya Allah. Wow, 2 hours return.
What?
So one way there. Iya, ke sana. Enggak. Bagus.
Where are we taking the picture?
Ayo.
What's the lighthouse? We can't see the lighthouse not high thing.
Lighthouse pulangnya. Lighthouse pulangnya.
He didn't say, I'm not going here. Too long.
Enggak, Indi.
Too long.
Alat.
Yuk. Naik.
Harus fish though.
Oh, ada view-nya non di sini non. Sepi lagi ya. Santai-santai aja.
Oh no, we're back.
Terus dulu.
Ew, I don't like the flies.
Color ya. Summertime. Indy, mommy, look at me. We just video, tunggu. Oh, nice. Aja nih, biar aja. Kita naik ke atas turnya.
Lighthouse, so we're not allowed to push buttons and pull levers and all that, which I'm sure you won't do. And no food, drink, alcohol, that sort of thing, which is obviously not a problem either, although water's okay. But anyway, I'll open up the key away.
Ton, pwede duluan deh.
spotted down here, you might like to notice how thick the walls are. Solid limestone rock, locally quarried and built with the old hammer, chisel and hard work method. And this central column here is hollow, and I'll explain why that was important when we get up there. All right, I'll start our way up.
Yeah, all right. Only 5 minutes. I don't want boring. All right, we're nearly there. Last 7 steps are steeper than the others. We go up and down a little more like a ladder than stairs. And we've got to put your head up there. All right? Carefully, huh? I'll break you. Wow, this is the light.
Right, so this is known as the lamp room. Fairly obvious look at the lamp in it. That's this big thing here. It's turning around. Consists of this big cast iron pedestal, on top of which is what's called the bowl here. And inside the bowl, all around there, is a channel. Got about 30 litres of mercury in it. The reason for that, this big lamp assembly up here, as you see turning around, is literally floating on the mercury. And that back in the 1850s when all this was new was their best shot at a frictionless bearing. Back then the molecules in these were those, kerosene wicks. Anyone who's used one of these knows how bad they are at producing light, not much better than a couple of candles. So they needed a lot of them in order to get enough light to go far enough to make it worth the trouble. That meant it had to be fairly large, as you can see. Next problem is how to make it go around. Today, one of the little electric motors in the glass box to make it go around. Because back in the 1850s, when all this was new, there were no electric motors. They hadn't been invented yet. So they had to come up with another way of doing it, and that was this mechanism down here. Essentially a drum of wire rope cable threaded by pulleys down the central shaft. And what the lighthouse keepers had to do is get the crank handle off the wall up there, put it on the square shaft, and wind up their lighthouse. Literally a wind-up lighthouse. Most clocks back in those days had springs in them to drive the mechanism. Some had weights like grandfather clocks and cuckoo clocks. Essentially it was a giant clockwork mechanism. The rule was back then, when the lamp was lit, there had to be someone in this room. So for the best part of 100 years, there would have been someone in this room every hour of every night. And every half an hour, they had to wind up their lighthouse again. Needless to say, they didn't have very much spare time. Contrary to popular belief with references to lighthouse keeper, back in those days especially, there was never just one lighthouse keeper, there were at least 3 of them. You know, the head light keeper and 2 assistants, and they took turns or did it in shifts. The head light keeper did the first one, then the first assistant, then the second assistant, and that's how they did it every night that they were here. It would be totally impossible for one person to do it. It just wouldn't be possible. That was you know, the way their life for the whole time they're here. Anyway, as I said, it started off as multiple kerosene wicks, then it went to pressurised kerosene, very much brighter light, but still kerosene, and then 1939 converted to electricity, and that revolutionised it. They could have a motor driving it rather than having to wind it up all the time. And there was suddenly a lot less work up here, and more important to be downstairs, making sure the generator kept working. And ultimately led to its current state, which is fully automatic. We've been a lighthouse keeper here for way more than 20 years, and there is no manned lighthouse anywhere in the world anymore. They're all automatic, quite easy to do with electricity, not very easy with kerosene wicks. So anyway, that's the basic history of the place. If you look up there, you'll see that there is 2 types of lens rotating around. One of them looks like horizontal bars of glass. That shines out a wide beam of light, which is seen from a distance as a long flash. And in between those, there's a bullseye-looking lens, which is seen from a distance as a short flash. So that's long flash, short flash, which is the Morse code letter N, which is the signature or character of this light. Now, contrary to popular belief again, most lighthouses weren't built solely to mark danger, as I was told when I was young. Most were built for general navigation, like this one. I call them the good lighthouses. You'll want to be able to see them. If you could see a light like this out there at night, you're essentially safe. You either knew where you were, or you could easily find out and therefore avoid obstacles on the bottom of the ocean that would otherwise be very dangerous to you. So you wanted to be able to see them, but for that to work, you needed to know which one you were looking at, and that signature of character is how they did that. That being different for all lighthouses, especially those in nearby each other. There is, however, one exception to that rule, as there often is. That's the bad lighthouses, as I call them. They're the ones that are there solely to mark danger and nothing else. They don't flash at all. They're just a continuous light. So if you're ever out in a boat or a ship and see a lighthouse that's not flashing, don't go anywhere near it. It's saying danger, keep away. But there's not as many of those, strangely enough. Anyway, that's how lighthouses work in general. This is a very special lighthouse because it's still using its original lamp assembly. There is a light in there. It's not on right now. It goes on and off like the street lights do. But there is a light, unlike all the other ones in Australia and most in the world. They've been replaced by a thing about this round on a pole outside. This one's still in service because this lighthouse has extra functionality that most don't have in the directly worn ships when they're going too close to land. If you look out there, it's clear glass all the way around there. That's looking out over the ocean. Up that way it's blacked out, it's looking out over land. Obviously we don't need it on land, not many ships on land, and we don't want it shining in bedroom windows all night long driving people crazy. So that's obvious why that is. What's not so obvious is the join between the two on each side. That just happens to represent a radial line straight down the coast on each side, just because of the geographic nature of this site and the location of this lighthouse. And that's what's used to warn the ships. If you imagine you're a ship out here heading for land in certain disaster, right up to that radial line, the lamp will be visible. You'll see the light, that means you're safe, you're far enough away from land. You go a little bit further on that line, the light that you would have been seeing will be blocked by this blockout material. The light won't be visible anymore. That means you've gone into danger, you need to do something, stop, go back,
change course, bail out even maybe, but that means you're about to run aground. Trouble is seeing a light go out that you're not expecting to go out because you don't know you're in trouble yet, next to impossible. Very good chance you'd miss it and continue on into danger and run aground. So for that reason we have these shutter mechanisms in this light. In a few seconds that cam there will push the wheel down, which pushes the weight down, which flips up the Venetian blind thing there. It's activated now it's stopped. That shuts the light off in that direction only, and that has the effect of changing the flashing pattern for anyone that's viewing it from those danger zones. So when you go in one of those danger zones, you'll see the light flashing differently. Of course, you continue too far, it'll go out altogether, and then you'll end up on the rocks. But that functionality, there's one on this side, there's two on that side, and on that side there's a red panel, so the light goes red before all this. There's two stages there. But that's a unique functionality of this lighthouse and light, simply because it's needed here because there's ports and bays and all that, and you know, ships need to come close to land, and and that's where they're most vulnerable. So it's needed more, but also the geography of the area just allows it to happen. Just more by luck than good management, probably. But that's because of that, they've had to keep this original lamp. It's 160 years old, middle of last year. So it's 160 and a half years old, pretty much. And it's still working. It's never missed a night that we know of. So, yeah, we don't know how many lives it saved, but it very easily could be thousands. Anyway, that's about it for the official presentation. If there's any questions, I can
that was impressive. Yeah.
give them a try.
What about that hollow space that you said you were?
That was where the weight went up and down. When you wound up the thing back before it was electric, you're winding the handle, winched the weight up the central shaft, and it's slowly going down there after it drove the mechanism.
Yeah.
That was back before it was electric.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. So being it's all thin building, it's kind of an ideal, because most clocks back in those days had springs in them to drive the mechanism. Some, like grandfather clocks and cuckoo clocks, worked on the same principle. So it was a giant clockwork mechanism, which back in those days was the only way to make anything move. Virtually all sorts of motors and engines hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah. It's very impressive.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, it was quite an ingenious, use of thing, and it was actually exhibited. The design was by the Chance brothers of Birmingham, England. They designed and built the light, and it was exhibited at the Great Exhibition at the Crystal Palace in London in the mid-1800s, which was the first technology expo of all time.
That's very cool.
Anyway, if there's any more questions, open the door and we can
Good.
go out and have a look. Here we go.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
I'm gonna go wish.
Oh. Don't drop your phone, yeah? Careful. We are out of lighthouse in the top of lighthouse. Yay. Oh, mashallah. Out of time. Oh, nice.
But we just never know. So I'm looking at everything.
That was good like that.
Something about that.
You should have seen something from the lighthouse.
Me.
looks better. See how Andy?
Another car?
Yeah.
Hi guys, look at my car. Wow. Single photo. Mommy. High school aja.
Ini nga ito, ngarap kami nga.
Yeah.